Hey, welcome everyone back to the channel. It's Carlos, and in this video what we're going to do is take a look at this album cover that I created for this young artist that is based in Los Angeles. So after a few meetings, what we ended up doing was coming up with this heartbreak graffiti looking album cover, and I wanted to show you guys how we came about that design. Before we get into it, here's the intro. And welcome back. So if you're new around here, consider subscribing and even hitting that little bell so every time I come out with a new video, you'll be alerted. And the reason why you might want to do that is because what we're doing is we're learning how to tell stories using animation, using filmmaking, and even sometimes I'll get into graphic design like I am here. Let's get into that album cover. But first I wanted to show you guys this brush pack that I got from, like I said, we're just gonna call him Mr. Bakeroner. I'll leave a link to his brush sets and his website and even his Instagram. But understand that I'm not getting paid to do this. I just really enjoyed these brushes and I wanted to bring these brushes to your attention. And then if you're looking to do some graffiti and stuff, not on the real wall, we can go and take pictures of different walls and stuff, so we can do graffiti on a virtual wall. Because not for anything, but I have a lot of friends that actually do graffiti in real life, and there's a lot of stories that they tell about getting arrested and stuff. So it's hard to do graffiti on the iPad if you're in prison. So anyway, let's take a look. This is the one that I got, the graffiti brush bundle, and you see that there are just a bunch of different graffiti brushes. Now let's switch over to Procreate, and we're going to drop down to where it says graffiti bundle, and you see you get a lot of brushes. How many brushes do we get? You get 32 creative pressure sensitive Procreate brushes. So let's switch back over here. Let's go to the top. We have this script brush, and if you paint with it, you see how it's got a nice taper, and it even has a little bit of smoothing in there to get a nice smooth curve. So you can come in here and actually get a really nice design down. Let's see what else we have. We have these splash brushes. Gives us a little bit more spray paint look. And the harder you press, the lighter the pigment or the paint goes. We have the hard splash brush, or splash hard brush, sorry. That is really good for the graffiti look. We got these flare brushes. Some chisel markers. This would be really cool for calligraphy. Let's see what else we have. Oh, these are cool. All of these chisel markers. These chisel markers are really cool too. You get this nice texture in there. Let's see what else we have. We have a New York chisel marker. This dot fire, that one's really good because you get really good splatter effects for, say, for a background or something. It comes in handy. This is the one that I used for the background of this heart. And these drip brushes are really cool because what I ended up doing was using the dot fire for the background. So the useful part of the drip brushes is when you have this here, let's just say that maybe there was just a little bit extra paint and then gravity decided to pull it down. So it just adds a little bit more realism to the piece that you're working on. Before I got this brush pack, what I would do is I'm going to swing up here and grab Tara's triangle. I used to come in here and have to draw my drips Now I can actually come in here, throw in some drips. And even if I wanted to go over this drip just to customize it a little bit more, I can still do that, because you don't want your drips to look all the same. That was a quick look at the brushes and how to possibly use them. Let's take a look at all the layers that it took to make this piece. So I first started with the outline of the heart, and then I went in and I colored it in, and I even added a little bit of a pattern to it. I'm gonna create a new layer. Let's just create a heart. Zoom in just a little bit. Okay. Now let's go to our adjustments panel and drop down to halftone, the entire layer. And you see when you drag your finger to the right, you start to get this really cool halftone. If we hit screen print, it puts down a completely different pattern, and even newspaper. You can do it like that, and tapping and dragging your finger back and forth to get the proper look that you're looking for. But I'm gonna go to full color. And that's how I got that pattern on the red part of the heart. A lot like what we do when we are drawing or animating, what you do is you start off with a basic shape, and then you just keep building off of that. So once I got my heart down, I was able to then add another layer to put a little bit of gradient in there. With this yellow layer, I set that to an overlay, and you see that it's adding a little bit of dimension to the heart. And then I wanted to go a little bit further, so I added some orange, and then again some blue, some purple, a little bit more yellow, because it looks really nice. It looks like it's actually glowing now. When you're in the streets and you see some nice graffiti, a lot of times there's just a very gritty urbanness to it. This is where the dot fire drip brushes came in, because I wanted to separate the heart a little bit more from the background color. And I didn't stop there. I added a little bit more to add some more uniqueness and some more depth. And now we're gonna come in here with some highlights and some drips and some colored drips, because it's not just the black paint that's going to be dripping. We have the orange, and all the hot colors are coming in and making this a very unique piece. The benefit of using a digital medium is that not only can you build up, but you can take those layers and add layers behind to add more depth again to the drawing. And so there is some red splatters, some yellow splatters, add a couple more black drips in there. And here's a time lapse of the process that I used to get to this album cover. If we wanted to, let's close that. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And then I'm going to hide that. I'm going to take this imported image, drop it in here like this, right? And then what I'm going to do is tap on this group and say flatten. Because now what I want to do is click there and drop that to multiply. Or let's see. Because really what I'm trying to do is get the brick texture to come through. So lighten doesn't do it. Add overlay. Hard light might be close. Maybe if we drag down the opacity. But you see where I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to make it look a little bit more realistic in this environment. I'm going to share with you guys a pro tip. It's not a I don't trust the client type of thing. It's more of a I have to protect myself, because in a digital world, people will take your work and claim it as their own or whatever the case may be, right? So what I do with all of my drawings, I have this layer here that I will turn on, and it might need to be a little bit more opaque. It's a watermark that you can put on your drawings when you're submitting drawings for feedback. And so as a digital artist, I recommend you creating a watermark like this that you can put on different drawings or whatever digital media you're sending to people for their review. This is just one of the ways that we can protect ourselves. Okay, that's it. I wanted to show you guys how you can use Procreate to create an album cover with graffiti brushes. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put all of the links to these brushes and everything in the description of this video. I hope you learned something. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you know anyone that's looking to get into animation, graphic design, movie making, any of that stuff, please send this video on over to them. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And again, if you hit that little bell right next to the subscribe button, you'll be alerted every time I come out with content, and that way we will learn how to do all of these wonderful creative things together. I hope this video finds you safe and healthy, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.